the theft of breath. The suppression of reasoning has always been the prevailing exploit of political trickery. Throughout all of history, to the killing of a man named Jesus Christ, the fearful mindset has always destroyed where they reside. The damnation of this mindset carries us to hell, using us as a shield from themselves. Not realizing this delusion will never satisfy their desires, and the parochialism will decay the mind until they themselves draw their last breath. The cycle repeats itself century after century. This mindset remains. I dare say, emotional intake is the cause of human suffering. The lack of discernment leaves humans stagnant. And as long as one lives in fear, one will never allow truth to exist. Fear will not discriminate because of age, gender, or race. Fear is for all whom drowned in desire. Will we destroy life? Will we take more than we have given? If or when Humans chapter closes, will there be time for the mass to inquire within themselves? Dramatic questions, some may say. But are these the ones who inhabit the realm of narcissism, blinded by non-core commodities, as a child would when dashing about in a newly found space and time? And just like everyone, the steps begin to slow, when even the strides themselves realize their movements are just transitory. We have witnessed some cry, some laugh, some come to the closing with anger, and some just smile. I think I would rather be the latter. What an enchanting vision. Almost an apparition. As if looking at oneself from afar. Within the confinements of the mind, our own private play, as the curtains draw on the final, staring into the audience, almost looking for consent. But there is no barrage of the incessant when we are quietly absorbed by the energy from which we came, that has been absorbing our toxicities all the while we have shared this hurling gaseous rock amongst the infinite sparkles. I have not excluded myself from all of this. I too pilfer my happiness, my contentment with my ferocity of desire, just as I have been trained. But now meandering in and out of clarity seems to be my daily, to monthly, and somehow back at covet. This can be confusing at times when I put too much thought into it. And the only times of bliss are when I do not respond to my thoughts. They dissipate, I mosey, but now stand out in the crowd as if I am in a Hollywood horror movie, where the consumed are able to see that I am not at their quick pace, wanting to devour me with their anger and unkindness, because I am no longer a willing participant in this carefully crafted, self-appointed supremacy, this monetary machine we are born into. It is difficult choosing words to describe the sense of loneliness and total happiness simultaneously. And again, paying too much attention to this, I become lost. And I amuse myself when I am aware of the tug of war between the in and an out. I try to look back, recreate the chemistry, the formula that I once created to shade my eyes and unblossom my mind, for the sake of survival within the system, but to no avail. And these days I dabble in a world between worlds to lessen the impact. Many a day I remember being on the water, the unsteadiness of my body, the unbalance of reassuredness, the mind unrestrained from regiment, wind in eye, tear on cheek, hair ruffles like the sail catching the wind. The mind softens and gives way to clarity. My perspective becomes unified with all that is. My spine sways with the tempo of the waves. Even the water-filled wombs that flow the inland waterways would be refuge from what I find in the interior hard surface. The inherited hustle has become something unbearable to witness. The crowd wearing their pain like an overcoat for all to see. The weight of someone else's desires pressed on them like a vice. I do not fear death. My thoughts tell me that there would be peace from all of this deceptions and distortions. But I must remain and maintain the gift of life I have been offered. The energy has shifted, not because time has passed, but because we as humans have not grown, and we have been left behind like a child watching the transport become distant. Sometimes I enjoy fantasizing about what could have been. What is the difference between living in a dream of what could have been from what we have? Neither of them are reality, and my loving thoughts are peaceful. Is this the point where a person drops their belongings and walks the path into the woods, hoping to find shelter and tranquility? Quietly meditating, crossing limbs for the two hemispheres of our brains to harmonize, creating calm with no expectations.